All right, just landed up on one of our favorite spots, Outlook. Got a little snow on the ground, a little sporty tailwind landing. And is this the kind of apparel you wear when you're gonna go fly in the snow?
Nikes.
Jesus. But it is freezing cold, makes me think, if you were to have an issue and be stranded out here,
yeah,
it'd get gnarly fast.
Yeah.
You travel or fly with a survival bag?
I have a survival bag.
I do too, and it's one that I built 5 years ago when I first bought this thing. But you know, I really need to go through my survival bag because it's been like 5 years since I built it, and my flying demands have changed, the places I fly have changed, and kind of my understanding of what I might need has changed. So
yeah.
This video, I think we need to talk about survival bags. Let's go through mine.
I'm Trent Palmer. I fly drones for a living and bush planes for fun. Follow along as I journey off the beaten path of aviation.
All right guys, I wanted to take a quick second to go through my aircraft survival kit. Anyone that flies, I think any plane, but especially over remote areas, should have a survival kit with them. And mine, I built myself over 5 years ago when I was first looking at buying a kit fox. It was actually the time that we were gonna fly the thing home. I knew I was gonna be over a lot of remote areas, figured I should be prepared. But please bear in mind, I'm no survival expert. This is simply a kit I built based on what I found on the internet back then. So I'm gonna use this as a really quick time to just tear through it. Let's see what's in it, see what's outdated, see what I need to change. And I also would love to hear from you guys. Feel free to comment below of what I'm missing or what else I need to add. All right, so this right here is my main survival kit that I fly with when I'm out flying solo or flying in the winter months. Now, I don't always fly with a survival kit. Some of the times I do fly without one. Like if I'm flying locally and I'm flying with another aircraft, a lot of times I don't want to have this weight penalty of almost 20 pounds in my plane. Also in the summer months, I fly with a smaller kit that was sent to me by Second Chance Survival. This kit is much smaller and more lightweight than my main kit. And what it has is everything to survive for a couple days, minus food and water, but it does have things like water filtration, lights, fire starters, all the basic essentials that are already assembled. So if you're looking for like a turnkey kit, check out Second Chance Survival. They're great. All right, now, my kit, the first thing that I keep that's at the top of this kit, and when the kit comes out of my airplane, this portion comes out. That is a very extensive first aid kit. Now this kit's designed to handle most traumatic situations as far as just stabilizing someone, stopping bleeding, all that. Again, I'm not an EMT, so I'm not professional at this stuff, but it's a very extensive kit. This stays in the airplanes at all times. Now the number one piece of survival before I even get into the survival kit would be a PLB, a personal locator beacon. Mine of choice is the Garmin InReach. Of course, there's this other brand, Spot. I ran this for a couple years. It's great. The only problem is I had issues with this interfering with my GPS, so I switched to the Garmin. But basically, for those of you that don't know, personal locator beacon is a satellite operated communication device that allows you to reach out from virtually anywhere in the world. And the response time worldwide is normally less than 2 hours. So I keep this thing attached to my seatbelt next to me so that it's in reach. If I were to get in an accident, it's something that I could reach over without even moving to be able to hit, and that should be the quickest way to get out of there. Now I forget what the exact statistics are, but for a VFR plane flying without a flight plan, the average response time or time to finding an accident or wreck is about 3 days. So my survival bag is designed for me to be able to survive somewhere for 3 days. Now this thing changes that to about 2 hours. So really, if you're flying with one of these, you keep it charged and it's in reach, you really shouldn't need a survival bag aside from just the first aid kit, but I fly with one anyway, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, just starting right on the top of the kit, the top pocket I made so it was accessible just with basic things I might need. Now given that this is flying in my plane pretty much all the time, I wanted to have things like pens. I've got some weatherproof matches. I've got a knife with a little bit of paracord as well as a fire starter. A whistle that has a compass on the top as well as a couple more matches, I believe. And again, this is in a fireproof container. It's got those weatherproof matches. The big thing, when it's this cold out, starting a fire and getting warm is probably gonna be one of the most important things. Got a couple spare batteries in there for some of the devices that are in this kit. Now, moving on to the main portion of the kit. What I have here is a water bottle. It's a Nalgene, whatever size, 32 ounce or 40 ounce water bottle. I also have that surrounding a little pot that you can use for either melting snow or boiling water to sanitize it. Inside the water bottle, another whistle, seems a little superfluous. But I've got, I think this was 50 feet of paracord. It's the 500-pound paracord for being able to make yourself a shelter, hang things up, whatever you need to do. Paracord's super handy in a survival environment, I've been told. Looks like I've got some sort of carabiner for hooking up the paracord, a flashlight, which is charged. This looks like a little granola bar that is most definitely expired, which is why I'm going through this. This needs to get replaced. But a little bit of food. Again, the water bottle, in an ideal situation, you would be able to start a fire, find water, boil the water, and store it in here. That way you could keep boiling, have water on hand, so that you don't die of dehydration. Now digging a little deeper, it looks like I've got some fast fire starters. Some toilet paper. Never know when you're gonna need that. I've got a handy little hatchet. I actually didn't realize that was in there. I used to strap this on the outside. Really, this would just be for cutting down firewood or at least creating kindling, splitting wood, any of that type stuff. I believe it has a knife built into it as well. So you've got that if you ever need. All right, the next things. Okay, so these are some emergency Mylar blankets. They're basically those space blankets. You know, I bought these a long time ago thinking that they were the best way to save space and stay warm. Now, I've seen some others that are basically like a tent sleeping bag combo that you blow into and inflate, and it creates an insulated layer just using air. So I might want to look into replacing these, but again, keeping warm, super important. Now these guys are some chlorine water purification tablets in case you do have running water nearby and you don't have the means to boil it. Say you couldn't find fuel or any way to do that, you could purify the water using this. Now it looks like I've got a few Mylar or space sleeping bags. These cover you completely to help keep you warm. In addition to the space blankets, I figured in an emergency situation, if I was able to find somewhere, even using the wing strut or a tree, I could build basically a little tent using some Mylar and keep myself in a sleeping bag. That way you can try to stay warm. Again, in environments like right now in my hangar, it's 32 degrees out. If you go out and get stuck, even if it's for something that's not even an accident, even if you're in a perfect, calm state of mind and not injured, you're still dealing with really cold temperatures. So staying warm is probably the most important thing. Again, we're talking about survival. We're not talking about being comfortable, but you still need to be able to stay warm enough to live. Looks like I got a couple emergency ponchos. Staying dry, also important. If you're out there in the rain, that'll zap the heat out of you quicker than anything else. Now this guy, I believe, is a little chainsaw, handheld chainsaw, I should call it. Basically what you do is you hold both ends, wrap it around a branch, and you can saw it down. Easier way of cutting through thick wood than using something like the hatchet. Again, another way just to find firewood. I don't know that I don't even remember buying this. This is actually its own little survival kit that has its own braided cord, little fire starter, some wet fire starting tinder, something that will light even if it's raining and wet out. Kind of cool. Also has a little case around it, again, to keep it dry in the event that everything goes to hell. Survival candle with 3 wicks. This thing's supposed to burn for 36 hours, so I figure that could help light other fires. If you're able to get this started, you would also be able to let it sit over here, help melt snow, whatever else. I don't know why. Got a candle. Okay, now I'm getting into what I bought 5 years ago that I'm not sure I would keep in a survival kit again, just because it's really heavy. And that is 3 days of rations of emergency food. These are food rations, as well as drinking water. Now, I've been carrying 3 days of food and water with me thinking I don't want to depend on myself for like going out and foraging and hunting for food. So having rations, obviously you don't need food if you're just staying out there 3 days, but I figured keep you a little more comfortable. Obviously you'll have a lot more energy if you have food. Water is absolutely crucial. So even in the event that I can't find water to boil or purify, carry fresh water with me. And it looks like, lastly, this is an emergency use stove. So it's basically a little tin stove that you fold out that you're able to set the pot on top of. And it's got 3 little pieces of high density fuel. Again, it's for boiling water, super lightweight. Never opened it because I've never had to use it, but it's something I keep in my kit. And all of this I keep inside of this Burton backpack that I got for free on a shoot for Burton. Very convenient, holds it all. So there you guys have it, my survival kit that I fly with me in the Kit Fox at all times, at least in the winter months when I'm not flying with another plane next to me. That said, 5 years, have had yet to use it. And again, having something like a personal locator beacon, is this overkill? So I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts. I know some people like flying with survival vests. There's obviously a very valid point that if you were to get in an accident, a lot of times even getting yourself out of the plane is a challenge. A lot of times there's fires. Getting to a survival bag in the baggage area could be pretty hard to do. So I understand and respect the importance of something like a survival vest. Again, keep this thing within reach, and that's my my main go-to, as well as the 406 ELT that's going to also transmit out my location for other aircraft flying by. So let's keep this discussion going in the comments below. If you guys have any comments or critiques for me in my survival kit, please make sure to comment below. Now, while we are on the topic of keeping secure and protected in a survival environment, it's time that I mention the sponsor of this video, NordVPN, which helps keep you secure and protected while on the internet. Now, a VPN, for those that don't know, is a virtual private network. A VPN reroutes your internet connection through a server held by the VPN provider that is effectively your launching pad to the internet. A VPN protects your communications and personal data, allows you to visit any website you want whenever and wherever, and again, makes it almost impossible to hack your computer and steal any of your personal data. And also, since a VPN reroutes your connection to the internet, you can reroute through a different country, which will allow you to use your streaming apps in countries that maybe the provider isn't allowing it in. Because any of us that travel internationally know how frustrating it is when you go and try to watch one of your favorite shows, but can't get on to see it. NordVPN also has apps for both Android and iOS, helping you keep protected even on your mobile device, on hotspots, or anywhere that you might be. Now, for a limited time, NordVPN is offering a holiday deal for any of my viewers that want to go on and sign up for NordVPN. Visit nordvpn.com/Trent Palmer or coupon code Trent Palmer at checkout. Get a 3-year plan with 81% off and get 2 amazing gifts. You get 4 extra months for free, as well as NordPass, an online password manager worth almost $200, absolutely free if you sign up. So again, thank you NordVPN for sponsoring this video. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this one up here. You know the drill. Like this video if you do, subscribe if you haven't, come be my wingman. See you guys in the next one. Peace.